Larry Gross, Mountain Stage, and if you can't hear it on your public radio station, mountainstage.org is where you can hear today's show. And today's show is from Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia, a lovely town and one of the centers of country music all around the world. And we're here as guests of the Birthplace of Country Music Alliance. This place is called the Birthplace of Country Music, if you don't know, because of the 1927 Bristol sessions where the Carter family, Jimmy Rogers, the Stomans, and many more were recorded. And what came out of that? Well, a whole lot of country music history came out of that, and we try to showcase the roots and the branches when we come down here. And I got a man with me here that is part of the branches of country music, right kind of in the center of the tree, because from the Carolinas and the Virginias and Kentucky, people moved down through Arkansas into Texas, and Bob Livingston comes out of Texas, and he's kind of come full circle in his own musical life because he was a singer and a songwriter, started out that way, and then he got into being a bass player at the request of Michael Martin Murphey, and formed a band, became a part and a leader of a band, the Los Gonzo Band, that played with Michael Martin Murphey and also with Jerry Jeff Walker for many years, and also with Ray Hubbard. But as of the last, 10 years or so?
6, 7 years.
6, 7 years or so, he's emerged from the band and started doing his own music again, out there writing songs and singing songs. And a CD that's out right now, we're in August of 2010, is called Original Spirit, and you're going to hear Original Spirit on Mountain Stage today.
So take me down south where the rivers age, goes back to the original spirit, and the India ink is flowing over the page, down to the original spirit, and the rhythm of life is still young, yes it is, and we are all at one here in Bristol with the original spirit. Yeah.
This one is kind of a compilation of a album you did 2005 or 4?
2004, called Mahatma Gandhi and Sitting Bull.
Yeah.
That's a quick way to kind of kill an album, especially some of these funky DJs in Texas. You know, that was Bob Livingston with Mahatma Gandhi and Sitting Bull. I mean, just, yeah, that was that's on its an entirety, and then I have about 6 or 8 other songs, and sort of a compilation, 22 songs.
A lot of them you wrote, some of them that you performed, that you have done before for years and so forth.
Right, Geronimo's Cadillac is on there, which of course Michael Murphy and Charles John Quarto wrote.
Yeah, and the new one, Gypsy Alibi, is it going to be all your tunes, or what's the plan for it?
All of them but one song are mine on this new one, and the one is a crazy Texas swing song called Country and Western Swing, and I didn't write that. One of our old former roadies, who's since become a PhD professor up in somewhere up in Wisconsin, and but he's still a kind of a songwriter, and he had written some songs. He wrote a song called Rodeo-de Cowboy that Jerry Jeff cut, and so he had these songs laying around, and we put it together. It's a pretty funny, good song.
Unos, dos, tres. Well, I sang in that Red River Valley. I drank wine with the poets in Santa Fe. Well, I ran with those darlings in Bristol, like I ran from Snow White in L.A. I think I'll go and see what's shaking down in Bombay. Don't be concerned if the song sounds familiar. Don't be concerned if it all seems the same. Just be concerned that your politics will kill you, and it's all just public domain.
When you started out, what were you listening to?
Well, when I started out, of course, I was from Lubbock, and so, you know, Buddy Holly, Hank Williams, I listened to KOMA out of Oklahoma City. They played a lot of rhythm and blues, and my brother was also a musician, and he took me down to see when people like Otis Redding and Wilson Pickett would come, James Brown, Jimmy Reed was a big influence on me. But I really loved all music, and even classical, and loved church music, gospel. I was a Methodist, and the thing that really spoke to me as far as the spirit was concerned was through the music, the songs, all those great hymns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great
It's,
changes.
it's hard to find, especially people that are your age and my age that weren't influenced by the church in one way or the other. Whether it doesn't make a difference whether they're rock, pop, R&B. You know, a lot of the early influences have to do with hymns, hymn songs, and so forth.
It's true, and you know that tradition is really carried on in a lot of the cultures, which is this spiritual tradition. And I had a chance and took it to go to India, and met a Fulbright scholar over there who told me about a program that the State Department had of sending musicians and artists and dancers and part of American culture, the mission to expose people all over the world to American culture. And had a chance to get in on that program and toured it over 25 countries now.
Some cowboys and Indians that came riding across the sands of a blood-red painted desert, lone equestrians. Sometimes red is black and black is white. Mortal colors vanish from your sight, but not the cowboys and Indians.
I love to travel and I love to get out. You know, John Chambers, Casey Chambers' father, he told me, he said, why would you ever leave Texas? It's its own country. I mean, there's 1,000 places to play. And it's true, but I just love to get out. I love New Mexico. I love California, the West Coast. I do a lot of shows up around here and even further east. And I do a lot of house concerts, and which are really revolutionize the folk scene. As far
I
as I'm
imagine
concerned.
a lot of folks looking at this probably, if you're a fan of singer-songwriter acoustic music at all, you're probably familiar with house concerts, and it really has been. That whole concept's been a godsend to a lot of people, because an individual like Bob and other singer-songwriters can make good money, and people who really want to hear the music don't have to go to a bar where they're trying to fight the people who are there to drink to listen to you play. And so you get 50 people or 100 people, and it's a great audience. They like you. You can make some cash, and it's, I don't know. It's hard to sustain a coffee house. When we started, there was a place in Dallas called the Rubaiyat that was about like a house concert, because it was maybe 50, 75 people maybe.
Right.
But it's hard to have those clubs nowadays and keep in business with them.
They are, and everybody, of course, to many of the club owners' chagrin, like at the Cactus Cafe down in Austin, Griff, the guy that runs it, he was saying, these house concerts are really putting a crimp on some of our business. And it's true, but as far, you know, he should pay us as good as some of these house concerts.
That's the key. I understand why he can't, but that's why you'd prefer to go, because the audience is about the same size, but the pay is a lot more.
And the hosts of the house concert are so wonderful. They give 100% of the proceeds to the artist.
Yeah.
They have a great news email list. People show up, they buy your CDs, you do a couple of sets, and then they put you up. They feed you great, put you up that night, and get up in the morning, they make you breakfast, and you go on your way.
Ruby's come up with something new, shortcut to the sun. If I was standing in Ruby's shoes, I could be anyone, I could be anyone. I could be a soul romancer, I could be anyone. If I'm the question, you could be the answer. I could be anyone. And I could be a rodeo dancer. I could be anyone. If you're the question, I could be the answer.
Bob Livingston, their current record is called Original Spirit, which is a really great song. You're going to like that tune. And then he's got a new one coming out called Gypsy Alibi, almost all original tunes written by Bob and a few other things. And he's accompanied by other people, today by the Mountain Stage Band. MountainStage.org is where you can hear the show if it's not on your public radio station. I'm Larry Gross, and your website?
BobLivingston.org.
BobLivingston.org. Check it out right now. Thanks for being here, Bob.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.